hit your face, you be like. When the bass drum hit your face, you. Drum hit your face, you be like. When the bass drum hit your face, you be like. When the bass drum hit your face, you.
Apex 2953 features racing prizes generously donated by the following. Racing fans in any racing class will win you one set of Stalker or Hunter disc mounts from Predator Mounts. All 7 Hammerhead team members will win in-game items should they place in the podium. Both turret team members that place on the podium can win either Hawks and Mustang Vindicators, Furies or P-72s and more. And both duo team members that place on the podium can win either Hawks, Furies or P-72s and more. Good luck to the racers of Scarlet Apex.
Hello, it's us, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing?
Hello,
we
everyone.
are back from CitizenCon. Look at these weirdos here. EchoBit, you were definitely at CitizenCon. I've seen photos. That we took of
It's
you,
true.
so to be fair. Hope everyone's having a fantastic time. I am here with EchoBit and Red Monster for heat number 3 of the Scarlet Apex this year. How are you guys feeling? Let's start with you, EchoBit. How are you feeling? Heat number 3. We're getting ready. So it's almost time.
Feeling pretty good. I don't want to spoil anything, but we have an exciting lineup for today. These 2 lovely gentlemen will talk you through it. Really looking forward to it. And yeah, CitizenCon was amazing.
Yeah, super cool. I had to spend the entire time in the Atmo booth, but just before raiding into stream, I finally finished watching all of the panels that I didn't get to see. And I understand now why everyone was freaking out so much last weekend about all of the news. Wow. It was a pretty crazy event. Red, you were also there. I finally got to meet you IRL, which was fantastic. How was your CitizenCon?
Oh my goodness, I'm still riding that high. I feel like obviously I fanboyed out. I was there, sat through every panel. I'm going back through rewatching everything as the RSI, the actual Star Citizen account reposts them, and then of course going and watching the Twitch VOD. A lot of amazing content there, a lot to unpack, and I think what I'm most excited for is now with Squadron 42 becoming feature complete. We have a development path. About a year and a half ago, we had that letter from the chairman saying the development focus is moving away from the persistent universe to Squadron. It's going to be slow. Now that's going to flip back around, and we've seen the slowness in content for the last year and a half, but I'm excited about what next year brings. And I mean, Todd Pappy with home building, base building coming in Q1 2024 for full-time development going on that. I'm really excited about where everything is at. They showcased a lot of great info, and I feel like I'm not alone as one of those people who's developed a newfound love for the bagpipes. So,
look, the Squadron thing right at the end, like everyone was expecting it. Everyone was expecting something Squadron, but I don't think we were all expecting to see as much gameplay as we did, which is really cool. So super excited for everything that happened there. But also, just the CitizenCon in general was insane. Meeting so many people, getting to play Pyro for a little bit off in the little Pyro Playhouse.
Now you got a little bit of streamer privilege there, right? You guys with the Atmo Esports crew got to go in. What was it, for Friday night for a bit of a private session?
Myself and Maya. Just myself and Maya. Everyone else in the Atmo team was busy. We were sort of waiting for some practice for commentating and whatnot. And Jake came over and said, "Hey, would you guys like to play some Pyro?" So we got to play for like 2 hours on Friday night, which was pretty cool. There's way more than a lot of people got to do. So
I lucked out on Saturday. We were right there as they were kind of closing the line down. So our normal 40-minute preview, we got about an hour and a half, and of course my phone was dying. I started my session at 5%, and I ran that beast into the ground. So
But yeah, an absolutely fantastic time. Make sure you guys obviously go check out all the panels and everything and whatnot. Some interesting developments for the racing community stuff with some of the atmospheric flight stuff. Maybe that could be interesting in the future. We'll see what happens there. But who cares about CitizenCon? That's not what we're here for. We're here to play the game as it is today. which never has bugs, so it'll be fine. It is heat number 3 of the Scarlet Apex, ladies and gentlemen. We have spent the 2 weeks before CitizenCon finding out who are the best racing combat pilots in the verse. Everyone with distortions. Still very disappointed that Team CIG lost in the Hammerhead. I will always be very, very disappointed by that. But some good developments nonetheless. And we have our last heat before next week. We go into the championships and we see what everything is about. So, Echo, if you have it for us, let's just do a quick, here is what we're doing, guys. So essentially, similar to Crux Cup and Scarlet Apex before it, essentially we're just getting our competitors to do as many laps as they can in 1 hour. And we have 3 divisions. It is not just everyone's in the one spot. We've got a couple of different divisions. So we have the Hammerhead division where people are fully crewed and shooting their distortions out of that. We have our heavy fighters division, essentially, where we're going to be seeing things like Scorpiuses and Hurricanes and all that good jazz. And then we have our, what I've been referring to as the team solos, where it's a team of 2, but you're both in different ships. Both in solo ships. So we've been seeing a lot of Furies. Fury LXs have been all over the place for that division.
We have, and the Fury LX has been kind of the favorite now. We're actually only going to see 1 Fury LX in that class today. We can talk about the ship choices. We're going to see some unique ships in that class as we get into the specific racer profiles. But those Hammerheads, the turret class, I think it's going to be a good race. But you know, the number one thing, this is Heat 3. The winners move on to the finale, and that's going to be against the winners of all previous rounds. That's coming up next Saturday. And I mean, you'll pay for your whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge.
Love it. Love it. One more thing I do want to say just about all of these events in general is getting the opportunity to go to CitizenCon and participate in a live event has me even way more excited for these kind of events. I was yelling at Red the entire time we were having some drinks and saying how absolutely fantastic it was. So really excited for these events moving forward. So even though we've only just started, a quick thank you to EchoBit and all the tournament organizers behind the field as myself and Red just stand here and yell about what's happening.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, guys.
We are the pretty faces of the operation. They really put in the legwork, and we mentioned it during the warm-up. EchoBit and the Anzia Racing team have put together just bangers of intros, right? We've got profiles, the amount of work that goes into getting these displays. You know, these aren't free, but hey, you know what? We appreciate all the effort that goes into them, and the results speak for themselves. So thank you for the Anzia Racing team, and specifically EchoBit.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. All right, let's get into who we're going to see. Okay, go ahead. We held the line. We did hold the line. We held the line at the Scarlet Apex 2953. All right, let's get into some of these crews because there's some very interesting ones, and it'll be a while till we get there, Red, but one of them is... it's a team kill, and I'm scared. I don't like it. It's my friends. I don't want them to have to eliminate each other. But let's start with the Hammerhead class that we're going to be seeing today. So we have Frontier Consolidated, Pax Mortis, and Northfield Motorsports. Now, we've been seeing Frontier Consolidated pretty much every week. Just an absolute huge showing from them. It's awesome to see them participate so much in all of these esports events. But we get to see Pax and Northfield. Now, I believe Northfield Motorsports, Northfield, one of the larger orgs that I've actually been seeing pop up quite a lot recently. I think they have a good medical division that I've been hearing a lot about people joining. So another big org to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did see Frontier Consolidated, where there was a mention there. This team is actually getting a second shot here in an additional heat because in a previous heat, there was ruled some race interference against their Hammerhead. So they're getting an opportunity now with an open spot in that multi-crew class to try and get another shot at the podium, getting into the finale. So EchoBit's got some more details there. We diving into the racer profiles?
Yeah, you said it well, Red.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with Frontier Consolidated.
So that's a Hammerhead. It is piloted by Ryu Kira. We've got Loud Guns, Noise Maze, Confound, Draconic, Feral Badger 16, and Prof Decoy that are running that, with our pit crew and backup managed by Protobol. For Ryukira, what got them into racing is they couldn't completely say I'm into racing, but the Snake Pit racetrack and Anzia community would definitely be what sparked it all. We see that a lot, right?
Yeah, we absolutely love to see it in general. So thank you for the nice little shout out to Anzia. But of course, yeah, we sort of mentioned a couple of times, Snake Pit Racetrack really did change all types of racing for the greater Star Citizen community. So many people got into the game once that got added in. And now that you can do it in Arena Commander, it's skyrocketed once again. It's been really, really cool to see so many people come into it. How would you... what are you in it for? Fame, credits, a grudge, to fly a banner, be part of a team, or something else? I'm in it to be part of the Frontier team, as well as to proving myself my capabilities. Well, hopefully can do Frontier Consolidated proud today.
Yeah. And one other note, their favorite ship to fly, one that's close to both of our hearts, the Mole.
The Mole is... Specifically, what is your favorite racing ship to fly? And their favorite ship to race with is the Mole. So it's not just to fly... They understand what we understand, Red, which is that the Mole is incredibly overpowered and it doesn't get used enough. Come on, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's move on to Pax Mortis. So this one, we're going to have the pilot Shep, and we're going to have Evil Betty, Crooked Will, Onsra, King OJ, Macaron, and Anthrax. They're going to be our gunners for this team. Should be quite interesting. Now, this is a wall attack, so I'm going to have to say this one. So what got Shep into racing? Initially, the desire for better ship control drove me. For introductory combat pilots, we recommend trying to complete laps around Old Vanderval in under 60 seconds. That's a great recommendation, genuinely. This builds a deep connection with their craft and owns their maneuvering skills. For the thing that drives me, it's the thrill of achieving the perfect lap, gracefully handling corners and achieving objectives swiftly. I strive to dance with my ship, orchestrating a seamless ballet of moves through engagements. What is racing besides being an elegant, emotional, choreographed dance with partners seeking to complete the dance the quickest? That was full-on poetry.
Yeah, a wonderful descriptive there. The racing style also self-described as controlled, elegant, and dominating. Now, can we pull those maneuvers with the Hammerhead? You know, there's some discussion about the single-seater versus one of these larger ones. Favorite racing ships to fly, and first racing ships being the M50 and the P72, but the Hammerhead's a beast, right? She's a lot slower out there, so we'll see how that translates.
It has been very interesting watching actually a little bit of the flight styles between Hammerhead pilots change a lot, because this is with a lot of the other ships, there's not much risk in terms of the actual flight. It's a lot more risk about trying to avoid fire, avoid combat. The Hammerheads can get themselves into positions in a lot of these turns where they can be very risky. So we'll see what happens here with Shep. Anytime we see these Hammerhead pilots, it's always interesting.
Yeah. Moving on for Northfield Motorsports. They are also in the Hammerhead, piloted by Venku Skirata, with gunners Destava, A Zombie Game, Twidget, Scudo, Thickboarden, and Commander Thugless, with their backup crew being Blackbird 2005 and Zed Wiesla. Got into racing for the variety of racing types and the racing community that got you interested in it. After watching my first AMR rally and all the possibilities for teamwork and skill building, I knew we had to create a Northfield Motorsports team. That's coming from Venku Skirata.
Fantastic. Normally, they compete in very few races, as more often than not, they're the one hosting and creating racing courses and events for our motorsports team. I participated in the Hearst and Hoyt Locker, though, but I love all kinds of racing as they each offer different challenges. I do think, especially this event, Scarlet Apex, there's no other events quite like it at the moment. I'm sure there will be soon, and I'm sure someone down there in chat is coming up with some great ideas for some events, but it's a very unique style of race. So it is cool to see people jump into that, having, you know, little experience running in their events before. Yeah.
And that wraps it up for our multi-crew class. We're moving into the turret class now.
Yes. So here we go.
Right.
This one is going to kill me. This one's going to kill me. We have Team Punch Buggy, my home team. Team Almost Concierge with Herbie and Estrella. And Team Splen in the same division. They have to knock each other out. I am so sad. And then Team Asura, they're going to knock both of them out. So honestly, kind of hoping for Team Asura here so I don't have to play favorites.
Yeah. Now the real question with the turret class is, you know, we saw a lot of these ships basically just not really having great engagements last time. Hopefully we can see a little bit more of those coming up into today's fight. But for Team Splen, they are running the Scorpio Centaurs. We have Splen in the pilot seat and Spare No Pixel in the gunner seat. Splen got into racing through Arena Commander in 2015. You know, I think that's a great early start for a lot of us, but he just goes fast, right? And it shows a lot of seat time. The favorite racing ship to fly, the M50. Wish it performed like the current meta ships, though. I can agree with that. One of the nicer light fighters there. So.
Yeah. One big thing as well about Team Splen. First off, these people both are fantastic people. Got to meet them at CitizenCon once again. So huge fans of these guys. But also, how many times has Splen been mentioned in other people's racer profiles over the course of these 3 heats, which just really shows just how influential Splen has been to the racing community as a whole. Was, you know, primarily a ship racer for the longest time. We managed to get him into ground racing, and then he started crushing there as well. Just an absolute beast at speed. So someone to watch out for as well. And not to mention Spare No Pixel, also going to be absolutely crazy here. So it should be great. What will you do on the release day of Star Citizen? Tuck my grandkids into bed and enjoy a nice tea and oatmeal at my retirement home.
All right. Now I feel like this next team, you really want to introduce these two, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Team Punch Buggy. My homegrown team, not from Australia, but from my streaming community, and they've been absolutely awesome. Got to meet Australia at CitizenCon as well. Not Herbie, though, so now I hope they lose. These guys are fantastic. They did an absolutely insane job in the Crux Cup this year, getting that for the heavy division, as well as Herbie with multiple top 3 finishes during the System 7. So this is also a very experienced team. I'm just really sad that Team Splen and Team Punch Buggy are in literally the exact same division on the same day, have to eliminate each other.
You know,
but
that's the nature here.
Exactly. It is. It is. It feels like a team kill. There's also, they've practiced together so much as well, you know what I mean? So it can be rough. So what got you into racing, Herbie? Cruncy got me hooked when he was practicing Stanton 7. Ayy, that's my name.
I also want to throw this out there. What wins the race, the ship or the pilot? Herbie, definitely being the pilot. I would think it makes sense. He's saying 100% the pilot if all things are somewhat equal in the race. So maybe that pilot with a good turret gunner in this type of division, going distortion weapons loose. And of course, they are in the Vanguard Sentinel.
Yeah, which is the first Vanguard we've seen of all 3 heats, I believe. It's been a lot of Scorpiuses and Hurricanes, I believe. I would have to double check, but I think this is the first time we're seeing a Vanguard, so it'll be very interesting to see what it can do.
Yeah. And then we've got Team Asura. They've got the Scorpius, piloted by Kestrel 1, and Radiant Koala is the gunner. We don't have a racer profile for those two, but we do want to wish them the best of luck in today's race as they go out representing with the Scorpius.
Yeah, and awesome to see Legacy Fleet represented here as well. So should be very good. I have seen Kestrel 1 in the verse before. I do recognize that name. I hope that I didn't recognize that name because of possibly being killed by them. But if I did, that only shows their skill, right? So well done to them. So now we move on to the duo. I'm going to try to pronounce this again because we've got proper names for these. The Qiongqi class?
Qiongqi class.
All right. I think I butchered it a little, but there we go. Here are our essentially solo teams. So all of these guys are running their own vehicles. They only need one person from their team to get in their first place position in order for the team to qualify. And we got some interesting ships here. There's one in the center there that I know that Red's going to want to talk about for sure. But let's start with Ope 2 Tree Beers. That was a really hard name to say. But this is Gerbo. Team Gerbo and Grant the Sandman. If you guys don't know Gerbo, another absolutely fantastic racer, multiple top 3 finishes in System 7, has been crushing it in all different leaderboards recently. So awesome to see. This should be an interesting one. Fury LX and an F8.
And here's the really interesting combination here. So the Fury LX being the favorite, we saw that 126 laps completed during Heat 1 in the Fury LX. We broke the 100 mark on Heat 2. We'll see what the Heat 3 can do. But Gerbo in the Fury LX, the second pilot there, the F8C Lightning. I think that's the first time we've seen this in this competition. It's going to be interesting to see how...
It wasn't out yet, the other one, so it's going to be really interesting seeing this one.
I am very curious to see how that's going to compete. A lot of weapons, a lot of firepower, and it's going to be an interesting combination there. Obviously, one going for distance, the other just going for durability.
Yeah, I do wonder. We saw the Fury LX. I think the highest number we saw was like 120 laps in the first heat. So it's like 127 laps with the Fury LX. If Gerbo can do that, and then Grant the Sandman can just spend the entire race trying to take down the other competitors, like that's a super cool strategy. But it's also just one we haven't seen before yet. Everyone's been focusing on just get as many laps as possible. Well, it's like, you have a team. You can have someone focus on trying to eliminate laps from your competitors while the other person just goes as fast as they possibly can. So that's really interesting. I'm really excited to see what these guys do.
Yeah, I'm definitely there. The racer profile we got from Gerbo the Gnome. What got you into racing? Quellstar Prime. Quellstar is a face that you'll see throughout the racing community. Very involved there, and putting in some of his own times here in these competitions. The first racing ship was the Razor, and of course the favorite racing ship to fly is the Razor, but they also have the hover quad on there, not to discount those ground vehicles. And of course Gerbo's racing style is a full send.
I mean, if you're using the Fury LX, that is exactly what that racing style is.
You want to give us a rundown on Grant?
Yeah. So Grant the Sandman, apparently an IRL friend of Gerbo, because I was actually a little surprised that Quellstar Prime was in a different team to Gerbo this time around. So it should be interesting. What got Grant into racing was peer pressure from Gerbo. Tracks. Every single time I've seen Gerbo in anyone's chat, it is mostly peer pressure pushing. What was their first racing ship? The Razor and the M50. So many people are fans of the M50. I myself not keen on it.
Yeah, we should discuss that at detail throughout the race.
as M50s start pouring from the sky. Eddie claims to fame, Avenger Spartan 5 and enjoys long walks on the beach. I don't think that's a claim to fame, but it is an interesting personality choice.
All right, moving on, we have a representation from the next team, the Saber Raven Owners Club. Now, these are unique ships. They're one of the hardware locked, also with the AMD Mustang Omega. But one note about the Raven, it is the only vehicle to have 2 independent EMP generators. So we'll see if they are, if you see a ship out there spamming their EMP the entire race, it's probably one of these Ravens. Sorry,
Red. Who's in charge of this club again?
Well, it's funny you might mention that, Croncy. The Saber Raven Owners Club was actually restarted a couple of years ago by yours truly, Red Monster SC. You can find us at saberraven.com for our quarterly meetups where we practice our precision parking and mediocre combat skills.
It was genuinely really cool when we all met up at CitizenCon to see so many people from the Saber Raven Owners Club there. It was awesome. So cool to see you guys rock up. And I mean, obviously this is the team you're going to be rooting for the duo class. So I mean, I am too, honestly. I'm excited to see what those double EMPs can do. So
and I gotta say,
go ahead. Yep.
There are literally dozens of us.
Yep,
so.
Literally dozens. Literally dozens. Commander Tenor, what got you into racing? Started racing after hearing about Crux Cup and realizing I had time to enter and give it a shot. Kind of started on a whim, to be honest. I feel like a lot of people do that as well. You hear about these really cool events that are being run in the verse, you join one, and then you immediately become addicted.
It's an amazing amount of effort that goes in, and you get in and you appreciate the simplicity that the race organizers are providing for you.
Yeah.
It
Claim
is.
to fame. First pilot to put an official time down for the Raven on the Ahu Mahi Ring. Didn't hold the regions for long, but nobody else had a time down on it before I did, at least in that ship. Love to see it.
Yeah. And let's see, we got Bobbit Obaso, also with the Saber Raven Club. Initially got into racing through my dad. We had some original need for speed games, and on top of having fun, I was rather good for my age. Just kind of stuck with me throughout the years. Normally competed. This is actually, I think, their first official competition race. We did have them interested in the Crux Cup within the Saber Raven Owners Club, but I feel like these two are really the groundwork for the Saber Raven Owners Club racing competition team. So
yeah, no, I mean, that's awesome to see for sure, as well as anytime you get to see an entire team, a player come into an event for the first time. It's exciting. You don't know if they're going to crush it or if they're going to be crushed, or if we've got a new top one racer in the world coming, you know what I mean? What wins the race, the ship or the pilot? A classic query as old as the sport itself. My favorite quote answers this one quite nicely. Straight lines are for fast vehicles. Turns are for fast drivers.
very well stated. All right, moving on to Seven Hills Racing. Now, they're both running P72 Archimedes, so this is going to be an interesting, a little bit lighter, not quite as much firepower compared to what we've seen elsewhere. But we have here Carlito and Kill Redbeard, and I gotta say, with that username, I feel a little targeted. Do you?
Look, so many people during Citizen Con called me Ginger, and I'm so mad. It's only my beard, guys.
I feel like you and I both have the brown hair, a red beard. Yep. And it's a look to be it's a look to be copied, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Or killed by this team, apparently.
Yes.
Who clearly take to us very wrong. Now, yeah, two P72s. We haven't really seen these. The big thing with the what's the name of the ship? I was literally in the advertisement for it. Oh my god, Fury LX. With the release of the Fury LX, it kind of started dominating the zero-G racing tracks. However, the P72 is still decent, and that's an important thing to mention because we only have one Fury LX today, and it's in a team where like the other person's not running the Fury LX, right? So there's a lot more room there. It is also a situation, once again, where if you are more comfortable with the Archimedes, then that's probably going to be your strat to run it. And I do think because you can, like, you're not going to be able to completely keep up with the Fury LX, but you're going to have lots of chances, I think, to actually be able to shoot it. Whereas a lot of the times in these three heats, the Fury LX is just too fast. It gets out of the way. No one can hit it ever. So if any ship has a chance to actually take it down, it might be the Archimedes.
Yeah, the time on target with the LX, unless you've got another LX going after it, and obviously the LX itself is completely absent of weapons, right? You're going purely for speed at that point. It could be a sitting duck if one of these P72s is able to get into it. And I am curious to see the Saber Raven also up in some of the speediest there, but that EMP with the good area of effect and a lot of opportunities, I think might be dangerous.
So Carlito, what got you into racing? I like speed, and I do a lot of drone racing IRL, which matches up perfectly with the racing we do in game. That is really damn cool, Carlito. I would love to watch some of that. I always see like little clips and stuff of people doing the drone racing, and it's really, really dope.
Yeah. We've got Carlito there for Kill Redbeard. Got into racing. Started playing Star Citizen back in February 2023. Already fell in love with the spaceship and the flight system. Started doing a bit of combat in a PU and basically flew my ship around the moons and planets. Doing low flight, got your hands on a MISC, now the Mirai Razor. Fell in love with that ship and get into Jump Town, setting up PU challenges, slowly trying to improve their times. And since the Arena Commander update, where we can race multiple tracks, started racing almost on a daily basis. The Arena Commander update with these racing tracks was a fantastic shift because it's no longer the 20-minute kind of reset time between laps. If you crash, you can spawn right back in and get back into the track and race. I feel like your learning cycles are improved. you gain a better knowledge of that track in a more accelerated time frame, thanks to those array commander modes.
Yep. And what were you doing the release day of Star Citizen? Haven't found my place yet in the verse. I love ship combat and I love being fast. They sort of complement each other in a weird way, and I like it. Being part of Seven Hills Industries, I have the flexibility to run a security and just play with whatever with the community. That's fantastic. Every single person that I hear about talking about their org, it's always the most wholesome thing ever. It's never like, yeah, these jerks said if I don't race, I'm kicked out of the org. So that's awesome. It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah. I feel like it develops a great sense of camaraderie, representing your organization on one of these competition levels. The community in general, the broader racing community, all of their representation, the ability to network with some of these top tier racers, and folks that really put together not only this event but other fantastic events within the Star Citizen racing community specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's go back to our faces for a second, because there's one thing I want to show you guys that I haven't been able to show yet, because it's been healing. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to get a tattoo from Star Citizen, and I don't even know if EchoBit's seen it yet, but here you go. It's finally, like, healing proper.
Oh my god, it's so
There
cool.
There you go. It's still healing a little bit, but yeah. I had to do that, and it didn't hurt that much, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. So yay. Maybe next year I'll get the Anzia Racing logo. Maybe. It depends how much EchoBits pays me. We'll see.
Yeah, my paychecks haven't cleared yet.
I will tell you a lot.
So we're about getting ready, guys. It's not going to be too much longer until we get into the race. Now, grids are set. We're getting a little bit of a briefing. I want to let you know, essentially, once again, exactly how this is going to go, guys. So we're going to have 1 hour for these guys to complete as many laps as they possibly can. We've been able to see from at least the Fury LXs, we can expect about 120 laps. So sort of watch that as we're going ahead. In each division, whichever team comes first advances into next week. And then we're going to be seeing everyone we're seeing from the 3 heats in a big old battle. And it's, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. It's the last of the heats. It's kind of like the last of the qualifiers.
Yeah. Now, distortion weapons are free. You can use distortion repeaters. We've got scatter guns on most of the hammerheads, EMPs. So we expect to see a lot of chaos going that way last week. And, really the first couple of heats, we did see some fantastic exchanges between those hammerheads coming up broadside and just lighting up the sky with that distortion scattergun fire. And hopefully, we might see a couple of ship disablements. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, we're watching some of these cameras angles coming in from them setting up the racing grid. I'm really excited today. It's going to be fantastic. So
I think one big thing is, we have those extra EMPs today that we normally don't have. Or at least we haven't had as many of that be available over the course of the first couple of heats. So, EchoBit, if we have any visuals that we can show people so we can start to sort of see a bit of the track, we should head over there. Yeah. There we go. Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Fantastic angles coming in. This is courtesy of Oleg Lime. He was one of the support crews for Turbo Corporation. Came out with the cameras last week and just providing fantastic angles. You can really tell when someone is an expert with the advanced camera controls and those specific third-person views, getting a smooth transition. You got the zoom in, and I would say the only real risk out there is accidentally flying into something when you're looking somewhere else. But fantastic angles, great wraparounds. And champion cameraman out there.
Yeah, just on that as well, I think we have seen debris be relevant in these competitions. So if you do see any debris come up, ladies and gentlemen, do keep in mind those hammerheads are large. It's very easy for them to run into them. We saw a couple of the heavy fighters knock into them too, but for the most part, big hazard for the hammerheads. And there we go. We got a lovely green paint of the hammerhead back there. I appreciate it so much when racers bring in non-basic skins. I don't know why. It just makes it feel so much cooler.
You got to respect the drip. And it helps set things apart as well. From a broadcaster perspective, we're getting third-person cameras all the time, right? We're not seeing names on there, and even if we did, There are what 7, 8 names clustered together in each of these hammerheads, very densely packed. Kind of difficult to see some specifics, but obviously, you want to bring in your favorite paint. It like I said, you've got to respect the drip. So
yeah. All right, let's get into some predictions before our laps start beginning. I'll start with Echo Bit in the Hammerhead class. Who do you think's making it today?
So I really think Pax Mortis are a PvP org, very strong in actual combat. I'm really keen to see what they bring to the race today. Racing for the first time in a combat race. Yeah, I think they'll bring a unique perspective. Maybe even might focus on taking down the hammerheads more than completing laps, because maybe they understand that they're up against a couple of racing orgs. So yeah, keen to see them do well. And Northfield with Qiongqi, I've raced in his Gravelive races, had a really good time. Yeah, keen to see him out in the field. And Frontier Consolidated, welcome back to them, and good luck with your second chance today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting trio here. Pax Mortis being the PvP experience there, but Northfield with their organization coming through, maybe that's enough to overcome it. And of course, those Frontier Consolidated guys, they got a practice round on one of the previous rounds. So this is their second time coming in. Obviously, again, being interfered with during their previous heat and giving the opportunity now to come and provide a better, fair representation for their group. If that practice run helped, we'll see if that they can make that.
Yeah, look, I'm looking to see some really, really good things from Pax Mortis. I'm going to go through these next predictions a little bit quicker because the formation lap is about to begin. So this time I'm going to start with Red Monster, Team Splend, Punch Buggy, Asura. Who have you got?
Splen. Just Splen.
Yeah, look, it's hard to not say Splen. Echo Bit, what about you?
Good luck to Herbie, who won Heavy Class and Crux Cup. You never know what to expect from Herbie. He's gone from ground racer to ship racer. Who knows, he might dominate today.
Yeah, I'm going to be going for Team Asura. That way I don't have to, like I was saying, Team Splen and Team Punch Buggy, if neither of them make it next week, that's a little bit better than one of them not. So I'm going to go for Team Asura for that one. And then a real quick one with our solos. I'll go first with this one. I think it's going to be really, really hard for Gerbo to not get there in the Fury LX, but there's still competition there, but I think Gerbo's going to take it.
Okay. What about Akubit there?
I'm really interested to see how Kalito and Kill Redbeard perform. They are sort of like races that have existed for a long time in the community and are only now getting into more larger scale events like this one. So I'm ready for you guys. This is your first large scale event. Good luck.
Yeah. And for me, I've got one hearty huzzah for the Saber Raven Owners Club. So
I can't wait to see those EMPs going off. We're in formation lap, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to be beginning any second now. In chat, let me hear who you're hyped to see compete in heat number 3. And maybe even who you're excited to see in the championships next week, because it's not too far away now. And also get ready for some really cool visuals. Honestly, that is 90% of this race is the really cool visuals from the Hammerheads shooting everyone around them.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the Hammerheads are the easiest target out there. Everything else is just zipping by so quickly. It's pretty great. This is a close quarters asteroid field, right? We've got 4 pylons they're supposed to maneuver around, and teams that can make those lines cleanly while taking fire, dishing just enough of it out. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. And we are at the green flag, so time has officially started. Yeah,
we're going to see our first lap come through any moment now, because as we've seen with the Fury LXs, and it'll be very similar with the Archimedes as well, so they're going to take about 30 seconds for these guys to complete their first lap. It'll be very, very quick. I am really hoping we get a bunch of EMP visuals on screen. One thing that we got to see in the last heat that we might not be seeing as much in this heat, and I think we're about to see an EMP go through right now. I just saw it. There it goes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Love to see it. And we already have a fastest lap. Gerbo in the Fury LX, 31.227 seconds.
Can you really say you're surprised by that, though? 31 seconds. I feel like that's right on pace We'll need to see if he can keep it up, have a clean run, because of course those pit stops, getting vehicle destruction and recovery later on was big. So
yes, very much so. Now we're gonna have to talk about random stuff for the next hour while we wait for some awesome visuals for you guys. So I have a question for the both of you, and also Gerbo already beating his time immediately. Ooh, 18 seconds of the P72. I don't 100% think that's accurate, but we'll see. We will find out for you guys, because that is incredibly
Red Beard
fast.
and the P72, it could be they're zippy, so
It could be, but regardless, the main thing to watch for, guys, is the lap times. So make sure, sorry, not the lap times, the amount of laps rather that these guys complete. So I've got a question for you guys. We got to see some pyro. We got to see some pyro last weekend. We're gonna get to see some pyro in a couple of days' time. Echo Bit, we running this in pyro next year?
We're running this in Pyro next year. Scarlet Apex will have a racetrack of its own in Pyro. We will experiment with all kinds of new regulations. We might even allow missiles, ballistic weapons, lasers. We're going to try everything and build the best endurance race we can out in Pyro, and build a truly unique combat race and evolve this even further. We might even have some more racing classes join next year as well.
That'd be absolutely fantastic. Some great visuals there of these scatter guns from the Hammerhead trying to shoot down another one. This might be the most visually appealing of all of the of the heats that we've had so far. This is great.
You just go out and you know that's not a vehicle you want to be sitting next to, right? You try and keep a clean line, but at the same time, maybe you go a little bit further off if it means avoiding some of that scattergun fire.
Yeah, definitely. Now, obviously, we're only a couple minutes in, but Gerbo the Gnome leading for the duos. Team Splen ahead in the turret, but not by a full lap yet. So Punch Buggy and Team Asura right behind them. Pax Mortis right now leading for the Hammerheads. Northfield Motorsports lagging behind a little bit here. Now, I believe when I believe last heat, a lot of these Hammerheads ended up pulling about 30 to 40 laps. So that's probably what we can expect today, assuming no issues. Obviously, anytime you crash and you need to go get a new ship or anything like that, the Hammerhead is the one that takes the longest to get back through. So any sort of destruction or anything like that can be absolutely brutal for those guys.
And we may have just seen
big crash.
I caused it. Why would I do
Crunchy. How dare you?
this? Why did I do this? Oh,
now,
no.
the number one thing for these Hammerhead crews is they should have a backup vehicle ready to go.
Yes.
Someone that's got a Hammerhead, they can pull it right now. Just getting people back into the Hammerhead and coordinating everybody. You know, you're filling a lot of hospital beds, so it's gonna be tough. And of course, while we watch that, some more EMPs going off. We see that Raven team. That's the Vanguard Sentinel charging up right now. You really want to the Raven EMP has a distance of about 750. 750 meters. So you do need to be there very close in. I think the Vanguard Sentinel, it might be a little bit further, but yeah, obviously only the single. And yeah, that was Venku Scarata with the Northfield Org.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely
Commentator's Curse.
brutal. Commentator's Curse. Wait, who do I want to lose right now? Man, I sure hope that Team Splen doesn't run into it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to continue that, guys. But that is brutal. Very, very early in the fight. Honestly, it did look like they had drifted almost completely into the asteroid. So I feel like they may have been disabled or something. It didn't feel like it was an overturn. You know what I mean?
And we might be seeing the next one up. If you see these two Hammerheads absolutely duking it out, vicious hits, and yeah, of course, someone takes a little bit wider line, tries to balance it out. They are going to be neck and neck going around this next pylon, and oh man, trading that fire.
Absolutely huge.
Pax Mortis are in the standard Hammerhead, and Frontier Consolidated are in the green one.
Awesome to see. Look at these guys trade blows here right on top of each other. This is huge. Not to mention the Pax Mortis are actually a lap ahead of Frontier Consolidated. So this is a big opportunity for these guys to get that lap back. I do want to point out, Grant the Sandman, our F8 on the field, actually not too far away from the lead at the moment. Only 3 laps behind their teammate Gerbo. So the F8 maybe ended up being an okay choice so far today. We'll see. Maybe we'll get some information about any sort of fights that they were able to get in over the course of today to influence some of these explosions.
We just saw one of the green Hammerhead there, maybe catching a little bit of a hip on the pylon as they make that corner. Obviously trying to take it close, not scraping too badly, but we'll keep an eye out. And maybe the cameraman drawing some fire on accident, getting a little too close for comfort.
Look, if you take out the cameraman, no one can for sure tell you that you didn't win. It's a surefire way to guarantee yourself success.
Running these turns very tight. I love to see that. And of course, the smaller vehicle.
The
cameraman self-eliminates.
Oh, no, we can't see everyone today.
Everyone, get your laps in now. No one can possibly do. No. That happens constantly. Was that Papa Freedom? Must have been Papa Freedom. I know he's not in this tournament, but if the cameraman explodes, it's usually Papa Freedom. No. At least it was a good shot. It was a good shot. Thank you for exploding in a fun way. Let's get these other views. Yeah, so we've got a couple of other views around, some very nice ones as well. I have been seeing through a bunch of our views so many of these EMPs pop. Remember, we have the Saber Ravens who can pop, what, 2 every, like, how often? How often can they pop?
Yeah. So the Saber Raven actually can alternate fire between its EMPs. You can charge one up while the other one's discharged on cooldown. So I think your cadence is maybe once every 20 seconds you could pop an EMP. Right. If they're doing them both, I think it's about a 45-second or so interval, between 30 and 40 seconds. So definitely a lot of opportunity for those EMPs to hit. It weakens things, and the EMP itself is not effective until those shields go down, but the EMP itself can help take them down. So
yes,
a properly coordinated group, if you've got a 1-2 punch there, it's very possible you get in and knock somebody out. So seeing those P-72s whip around and that F-8 is deceptively speedy. That is a fantastic angle there.
Those distortions look way beefier when you've got that perspective from a bit further out. That is awesome to see, for sure. So 16 laps currently completed for Gerber the Gnome in their 17th lap. We're still shy of 10 minutes. So I think we're going to be looking at another 120 lap tournament here, assuming no issues, obviously. So could be interesting.
Yeah, and I think our record last was either 126 or 127, and making pretty good pace towards that. I do see Oleg it looks like they had to exit to menu and come back in. They're working on getting back out for some of those angles. We do have additional camera angles, courtesy of we've got Epic Wink and Vulture Epic. Epic Wink giving us half of the views there, and Vulture Epic getting some in between. And we have a backup camera provided by King Thugless. So
interesting. Kill Red Beard just got past Gerber the Gnome just now. They both passed their 17 laps, but Kill Red getting there just a little bit sooner. So it is a lot more of a fight between this P-72 and this Fury LX than maybe I'd anticipated. I don't know if that's because of the damage. Maybe it's just because of the pure pilot skill. Maybe the ship choice is a little bit better in space than we have thought previously. But lots of things lighting up there. Team Splen is a full lap ahead of Asura and 2 laps ahead of Team Punch Buggy. It is obviously still early days. A lot of the collisions and explosions and whatnot that we've seen in the first 2 heats have been from the turret division as they come around and, ram into Hammerheads. Like we saw was it the Hurricane, I think, ramming into the Hammerhead last time around.
Was it ramming or just depositing a little bit of paint there? It felt like the Hammerhead just shrugged it off.
A paint exchange, if you will.
Yeah, there have been some paint exchanges, and that is, you bring up a good point. We're early on. Throughout this competition, you're going to see ships crash, ships get destroyed. They're going to leave behind debris on the racing line that may become a problem as we get further on. So
Kesher One needs to go back from skipping track. Once again, that 8-second lap from the F8C Lightning. Don't worry about it too much, guys. That'll just be us confirming a lap was completed. Once again, watch the laps completed, not necessarily the times, but we have seen some very fast times. We saw those 30-second laps early off, so they're definitely not pulling any punches.
and a couple of 16-second laps if we're trusting the calculations. Now, of course, it is not fully accurate. We do have race timers that are there pushing the buttons as they see racers move across there, so there is a good chance we got that. We have a ship destroyed. Commander Tenna blinded by their own EMP. Oh, that is
Yikes.
That's Saber Raven does have a little bit of that, issue. The EMPs have been very intermittent, for self-harm. So it's interesting to see if we continue to see that.
I think it's just cool to see the EMPs in general. This is the first heat where we've really seen them on display. And I mean, look, we're seeing one right now off in the back corner there. Either doesn't go off or finish going off. Maybe something is you, but it's cool to see them regardless. I really hope that, we've been seeing last week at CitizenCon, we saw them talk a lot about work that they're doing with weapons and whatnot. I'd really like to see them touch on EMPs again, because like animation wise, give them something a little bit nicer. It'd be very cool.
Yeah, and part of that EMP animation, once it charges up, that blue bubble kind of dissipates, but you are fully charged at that point, ready to discharge, and that's where you get the burst bubble. But obviously, ensuring that EMPs work properly. Make sure you get your issue council reports submitted, and hopefully put a little bit of priority behind that. With ship balancing coming in, we saw a lot of new changes. Maybe next year that precision targeting mode is going to become a little bit more of a thing. You've had a chance to watch through that presentation with Yogi?
Yes, finally got to see all of them.
Yeah. I was actually really impressed with the new flight and combat experience. Seeing those projectiles go out 5 to 6 kilometers distance. Obviously the spread at that point making it ineffective, but I love being able to see those distances really spread out more, especially since we have our new flight modes. We're going to have probably a lower speed cap, but getting some distance and being able to evade. So
Northfield Motorsports should be coming back any moment now, guys. But that explosion that they had much earlier on has crippled them. They were only able to complete 1 lap. They are a full 10 laps behind Frontier Consolidated. You've got 46 minutes. We did see a lot of Hammerheads explode in the first 2 heats. So, it's an uphill battle, but maybe you'll get a little bit lucky here. But an absolute huge fight here between Kill Red Beard and Gerbo the Gnome, 1 lap behind each other, followed by Carlito as well. All these guys rushing at the front. I think the distortions mattered. I need to hear from the pilots, but I need to know if these distortions on the Archimedes were relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we see the Hammerhead pilots out there. We saw the Vanguard Sentinel making its runs, the F8. A great mix of vehicles today, showcasing some of those. And we do have Oleg coming out our camera here with the looks maybe the Reliant Mako, and we'll see that rejoin here with some of those views.
Yeah, definitely. So we're about 15 minutes in.
I love that he's rocking the camera shit.
Yes.
Just mad props to you. Ole, it's not even ready, but you're still rocking that ship anyway to provide us an incredible action cam experience.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
One important thing, Kestra One has had quite a few warnings recently for skipping the track. So a lot of those laps aren't going to be counted until they actually, get around that area. So pretty rough for them, but, they should be able to recover from that soon. 15 minutes in, guys. We're at lap 29. I don't think we've seen a fight this big for first place in the duo class the entire heats. What are you guys thinking? Let's start with you, Red. At this point, 15 minutes in, who do you think is going to take it?
I would say Gerbo is probably going to pull it out. I think Kill Redbeard and Gerbo being like neck and neck, the Fury LX being the favorite. Now, obviously, Kill Redbeard and the P72, I'd love to see that represented in the finale. And of course, sadly, my Saber Raven crew, they're behind on the overall lap count, but I feel like they're really delivering some of the chaos that's shaking up the rest of the scoreboard. So.
Yeah, there's something to be said about coming into the race and then just targeting like the Hammerheads for fun. I think that's just a fun way to play this kind of event. It is interesting in this heat. We don't have any instances of teams from the same org in the different divisions that we had last week. So where we got to see, well, I can kind of assist my team that's in the duos by, targeting the other duo teams and whatnot. That will probably change in the championships because if I'm not mistaken, we already do have some teams from the same orgs in different divisions there. So
yeah,
that's going to be a thing to watch out for next week for sure.
Yeah, we do have Frontier consolidated with the Hammerhead right now. They have an opportunity with the turret class. They've already got one team in the finale with the turret class. So we'll see that. Black Star Racing with the solos. They don't really have any other representation today. But yeah, I think it's an interesting strategy. And maybe you go in and partner with somebody, bring some of those turret classes and say, hey, there's this Hammerhead. Here's how about a RSI gift card?
Well, no, that would be collusion. That would be messed up, Red. Red does not sponsor collusion. We sponsor fun collusion, but not monetary collusion, guys. All right.
Red Monster SC's views do not represent those of the NZ racing community or their sponsors.
But regardless, it's going to look like a very fun event for sure. Now, we're getting some awesome views once again of these Hammerheads firing in. It has developed a little bit. We're 3 laps ahead. Pax Mortis is now over Frontier Consolidated. So whatever that pilot is doing, who is piloting for Pax Mortis again? Because you are doing a fantastic job here.
Pax Mortis is piloted by Shep.
Shep, you are crushing it right now. You have gotten so many laps ahead. It's been awesome to see. I do still hope we get to see a little bit of a disable here at one point because we have had many situations where Frontier Consolidated have been within range. But yeah, amazing flying.
Yeah. And it's about landing those shots, picking your time to engage as well. You get in one of those narrow round, kind of wraparounds on those pylons. You might have a pretty long time on target to get out there. And is that a Hammerhead?
No, that's the Pax Mortis
right into the cable. The Pax Mortis Hammerhead. That's right, it is. Frontier Consolidated are going to be so happy right now. They have a chance to get themselves back in the lead. Oh my
goodness.
Also Herbie down. Ship destroyed by Herbie from a collision, it seems. So that's going to be very rough on Team Punch Buggy. They were already behind in the turret class, so very, very rough there. Yeah. Explosions all around.
Pax Mortis, not only that, the explosion, they've left behind a huge debris field there, right in the middle of the racing line that the other racers are going to have to watch out for. Obviously, we have our track officials that can go try and clear some of that, but Shep with the Pax Mortis group. Is that, Shep with Pax Mortis?
Yes, Shep with Pax Mortis. We were literally just talking about how Shep was doing amazing piloting. Maybe Shep was listening into the broadcast and was getting a little bit. They're talking about me.
The commentator's curse strikes 3 times now.
Yes. Who else can we kill, Red? Let's see. I would like Bobbin to explode.
Oh my goodness! No, not the Saber Ravens. Not the Saber Ravens.
So Team Pax Mortis were able to get 18 laps completed before they exploded. Frontier Consolidated, they've already gotten back basically a lap and a half back from the previous lead. Northfield Motorsports still not back on the field from their collision early on in the game. We have had issues, obviously, with like black screens and stuff over the course of the heat. So hopefully we're able to get back in and get some laps in. They still obviously have plenty of time to get those laps back. We'll see.
So I'll need to get this confirmed, but do we have only a single Hammerhead crew out there right now? We have Pax Mortis that was just eliminated. We have Frontier Consolidated that is on their redemption lap. Oh, and one of those Scorpius just painted himself.
The Hammerheads are just deciding, you know what?
Kestrel
won. Make way for anyone.
No, that is fantastic. Yes, Pax Mortis crashed. Frontier Consolidated out there still trying to make their run. Pax Mortis with 18 laps. Frontier now at 18. I think Frontier is going to take the lead. And obviously getting Pax Mortis and Northfield, if they're able to get back onto the track, that's going to be clutch here.
Yeah.
We're just about 20 minutes in.
While all this has been happening, Kill Red Beard and Gerbo, a lap between them in ships that take 30 seconds to do laps. We have not. They're on the same lap now. This is insane how close these guys are together. We have literally not seen a fight in any division like this in all of the heats. I'm honestly kind of disappointed it's happening today and not next week.
Well, I think it's just a preview of what's to come, right? And you see this Hammerhead navigate through some of that debris field there. This is going to be interesting as that debris starts to accumulate. But yes, next week is really where I think we're going to see everything go out. It's for all the marbles. And, I do expect to see a lot more of the combat happening between those Hammerheads and those distortion cannons. The duo class, that turret class as well. Perhaps we're going to see them start racking on each other. So
now, at the risk of missing some more explosions, EchoBit, do you want to remind everyone what they're actually competing for next weekend?
Yeah, so they are competing for another ship prizes, a lot of in-game items, and predator mounts. First place get a set of Stalker and Hunter disc mounts, their choice, and they can split it up. One mount for one person, one for another, or if they just want gift cards for the Predator Mount store, they can even do that. There is 2,000 USD worth of prizes in this race for the championship that they'll be competing for next week.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. And obviously, thank you to Predator Mounts. I've been using Predator Mounts for, I think, a year and a half now. And they've been absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love them. So
I love mine.
Yeah.
Makes it very easy on and off the desk.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Predator Mounts, for those. And then, EchoBit, do you want to shout out the people who are sponsoring the rest of the prizes as well? Because I think that's important too.
That's right. So Frontier Consolidated also put in a bunch to the prize pool as well. So thank you guys so much. Southern Cross Alliance as well, of course. Always come to provide to the prize pool. Say, Elgood, myself, Loud Guns, Intim. Thank you all so much. You're generous backers, amazing friends. And they're even helping run and participate in this race today. It's not possible without you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout outs to all of those people and all of those fantastic prizes that these guys are going to be competing for next weekend. Now, Gerbo has taken the lead once again over Kill Redbeard, but I feel like it is so early days still, and these guys are still right on top of each other, that we're just going to have to keep watching and see what happens.
They are neck and neck.
They are neck and neck. I do want to point out, though, Carlito only 3 laps behind as well. So that is nothing to shake at. One explosion from these guys with the amount of laps that these guys can complete words. It'll cost you 25 laps if you explode, most likely. So
if Gerbo can't hold on to this, he's got Kill Redbeard and Carlito, both from the Seven Hills Racing team, that are right on his back. So even if Kill Redbeard can't make it, he's got Carlito in the back there with a 6-lap margin over Grant the Sandman coming up with that F8C. I feel like it's going to be difficult for the F8C to catch up, to make up that time. So really those top 3, we'll see how that goes. And of course, the Saber Ravens making a solid representation behind that. So
yes. And now look at that. Team Splen. Now remember that is Splen and Spare No Pixel 10 laps ahead of the second in turret class right now. Essentially, what, like 50% ahead with what we've completed so far, to the point where Team Splen can probably have themselves a little collision if they don't mind. If they're feeling up to it, they can probably afford that.
I think at this point you settle into a groove. You got the Scorpio Centauri, so that person in the back, they just focus on the 1 or 2 buttons they've got to push. Splen obviously keeping a clean line. Doesn't need to set world records, right? You've got a really healthy margin now, and as long as you're avoiding collisions, maybe giving yourself a couple of times to target some of the other racers out there. As we see the EMP come up on that Hurricane, we'll see if they get it. I love to see those.
It also looks
properly
like
timed EMP.
Yeah. Also looks like Team Northfield Motorsports still not able to get back out into the arena, which is a bit unfortunate. But Frontier Consolidated at 23 laps now, they got themselves 4 laps ahead of Pax Mortis after their collision. Pax Mortis, it sounds like, may have also had black screen issues. Hopefully they can get it out as soon as possible. But this is the difference that it makes in these hammerheads. When you get a collision, you're going to lose 5-10 laps before you get back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it is one of the aspects of these competitions that's just beyond our control. The nature of playing in an alpha environment, there are going to be issues getting back into the races, as we see these hammerheads just cruise right past each other.
Well, there we go. That means that's a hammerhead back. Now, I'm very curious to know if that's Pax Mortis or Northfield. I think it was Pax Mortis because they had a 19 laps before. Now, Gerbo the Gnome, ship destroyed, has hit debris. That
my!
Between Gerbo and Killred is now going to swap completely in the other direction.
Game changer there.
That is huge.
Yeah. And back to the nature of alpha, right? To quote Benoit from Citizen Con, it's that relentless optimism for the game that we hope we get these folks back in, and obviously it's disappointment when you can't complete the race, but hopefully they'll be able to get back in and at least represent, finish out strong for their org and have a good showing. So.
Yeah, very much so. All right, we've got another one here. Oh no! Kill Redbeard, also ship destroyed, has hit debris. So we were just talking about Carlito being the one to maybe, push it over that edge. And like Carlito, essentially, as long as they don't explode in the next 2 laps, are going to have the lead. They're going to pick up that slack. That's crazy.
I'm just ticking off the list of people we needed to talk about to the commentator canon, as it was described in chat, right? Who's next in the crosshairs? So we've got Grant the Sandman and Carlito. So Carlito is coming back still with the P72. Grant the Sandman with the P8C, right? F8C. So we're gonna need to see can that counterbalance. Obviously the F8 delivering a lot more firepower could really mess up the day. And I tell you what, if I'm Grant the Sandman, I've got Carlito's target pinned.
Yes.
The rest of this race.
Very much so. The big thing, once again here, only being 6 laps behind after all this time is pretty relevant, because it means that Grant the Sandman can probably stay on target for a decent amount of time before those P72s get out of the way. You know what I mean? So, once again, really interesting. I just want to hear their perspective of well, first off, why they chose the F8C and if it mattered, if it helped the team once we get towards the end.
Yeah. And we did see when it first came out, when people were able to rent it, it was everybody and their dog flying an F8C, right? It had a really great flight profile, a lot of weapons, to go with the old CIG meme. It really punches above its weight class, right? Yep. And it's interesting to see it being represented here. I think it will probably make itself a good name in the racing community as we continue to see it used.
Yep, definitely. So right now, Carlito has edged into the lead of the duo class. So that's going to be a pretty huge development. We'll see how long it takes Killred and Gerbo to get back, because they have been the fastest racers on our board today so far. Team Splen waves ahead of their competition. Punch Buggy was able to get ahead of Asura, but Team Splen still a solid 16 laps. 16 laps ahead of Team Punch Buggy. So those guys are pretty safe at this stage. They can take it a little bit slower. They don't have to go as hard. Though knowing Splen, that's not going to stop him. He's still going to pilot it like he stole it. And then Frontier Consolidated, still in the lead with the Hammerhead. But Pax Mortis have been closing the gap, only 3 laps behind right now. And
that is actually...
I'm afraid to curse again. What is going on?
Oh my goodness, Splen takes it out.
We're so bad. We've cursed everyone. We're so sorry.
Francia, I feel like you and I are gonna have to come up with some code names next week. So
we're gonna get kicked out. I'm not allowed to commentate anymore. Oh, that is brutal. Now, even though I said that though, like I did say as part of it, just before they exploded, still right 14. Now 14 laps ahead of Team Punch Buggy. So that's a big buffer for them to get back here. So we'll see what they can do. Obviously, Team Punch Buggy very happy about that. They had a collision earlier on. So Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Oh my god! I can't
And we
believe
have, we do have an update there. Baba Obiso, 13 laps behind on the current Grant the Sandman. So, 13 to 14 laps behind within that duo class. Commander Tenna, a little bit further behind that. Obviously, Carlito, current lead. Gerbo the Gnome and Kill Redbeard, if they're back out on the track, making some waves. Now, obviously, Grant the Sandman, with that F8, is trying to catch up. So we'll see that. Team Splin with Asura coming up behind. Punch Buggy in the middle there. So we'll have to see that. And, man, that Vanguard coming in right in front of that Hurricane.
Yep.
Great angles. Great views here.
Yeah, thank you very much to our cameras. This has been fantastic. All right, here we go. So we're going to review the debris on track, which is great to see because sometimes the debris does come too much. Look at all that we've got in the center there. Quite a lot of stuff that
Mantis, one of our support vehicles, of course.
Yep. So making sure they're getting as much of that out of the way as possible. But we are officially over halfway through the race. We're at 56 laps, so we're looking at probably maybe 110 laps over the course of the event. This has been extremely eventful. I wonder if it's the EMPs.
Oh, there goes Bobbit. He hit the safety ship. That was a friendly.
Does that count as commentator's curse when you were talking about the safety ship?
I talked about both.
We're still cursing everyone.
Still cursing everyone. Now let's talk about what could very well be a new entrant into the racing ships in the next 12 months or so. The Zeus Mark II.
Yeah, the Bounty Zeus that has the EMP. That'd be fun.
The MR, it's got the EMP, it's got the quantum dampener. I will say that's probably going to be the largest profile for an EMP ship we've seen, right?
I believe so. I think it'd be really interesting to have in an event like this it's sort of a class between our turret and Hammerhead class. The Zeus would fit really nicely into middle there. The other thing, though, is that, have you seen the image that went up right when the Zeus got sold and then got taken down?
Oh, no.
There's the possibility. It was up there. It was on the purchase page, so it's not a leak. So I'm saying it, which is, it looks like there might be a racing Zeus.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I will say I did have an opportunity to meet him after the event, but Ben Curtis, obviously a fan of the nice sleek belly, like the space shuttle on the Zeus. So be a good one.
That was bad.
We may have
an explosion there. Not sure what that was. Maybe some guns actually being removed.
On the camera.
You did.
Asteroid check. Yeah, that looks like a little bit of a difficult maneuver there. Asteroid check. He found it.
And there we go. We have another ship destroyed. Unfortunately, my view is not working from Castrol 1. Castrol 1 got destroyed there. Another explosion there. I do want to point out, though, this is pretty important. It looks like Gerbo the Gnome has gotten back into the arena and has been pushing it. Has been absolutely pushing laps. Now only 7 laps behind Carlito. So that gap already closing very quickly. Can you get those extra 7 laps in the 26 minutes left? Hopefully. Guess we'll see.
Yeah, and obviously seeing those P-72s zip around the track.
Yes.
Very, very, very difficult to even target those, Get these additional views. Some of those ships passing by, the Hammerheads just gracefully arcing between those pylons.
Speaking of the Hammerheads, remember, Pax Mortis did come back. It also looks like Northfield are back now as well. But Pax Mortis currently only 3 laps behind Frontier Consolidated. Now, when Pax Mortis exploded, Frontier Consolidated were 3 laps behind Pax Mortis. So there is a nice, convenient gap there for these guys to get past. So if Pax Mortis flies like they did in the first half, they should be able to at least get into the same marker. So I'm just also seeing one of our perspectives right now of a ship just absolutely rotating at full speed. Very, very funny.
That's Oleg. He lost a wing on his Reliant.
Yep.
So we you turn on the washing machine cycle and you just let her go.
Absolutely love it.
These shots being traded back and forth with these Hammerheads is like, this is what we live for here, right?
Yes.
This is why this event is so amazing. The distortion weapons free really brings it home. And we've got good to see Northfield. Now they're up to 3 laps, so they are on the track. They're putting times in, making those laps and making sure they're represented. So Vanku and the crew, welcome back, and hopefully clean lines from now on.
Yeah, hopefully. I do want to point out, because we're seeing these awesome views at the moment. Imagine these fights, but using the I can't remember exactly what it was called when they announced it last week, but it was like the detailed targeting. It's the stuff that looks very much like the
precision targeting.
Oh yeah,
precision
the precision targeting.
Yes. Imagine this, but you're in a Hammerhead trying to just take out the turrets on the other Hammerhead with your distortions and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that would be. Oh, I'm really excited for stuff that's not coming out for a year or two, honestly. But
oh, the Hopium is strong, Croncy.
They hooked it directly into my veins.
And with
honestly.
the Hammerhead being a lot beefier with its armor, where they showed off at Citizen Con where the light fighters couldn't take out the hull of the Hammerhead. They had to destroy the turrets only to disable it. Maybe that is a good excuse for us to bring in ballistic weapons, lasers, missiles, and then maybe they might stand a chance versus the Hammerheads.
I just have to laugh at the cameraman as he tries to catch that P-72. You can track any other target, but that P-72 comes by, and you're searching. Where did the ship go?
It's just too
fantastic.
Fast. Now, once again, Gerber the Gnome and Kill Redbeard are also now back on the track right now. Gerber the Gnome has clutched it back to now 2 laps behind Carlito. So this, I think, is going to happen any moment now that Gerber is able to get ahead. But Kill Redbeard is very, very close to Gerbo. We were seeing them fighting constantly in the first half of the race, and they are not letting up on each other. So this is still going to be really tight. But I think Carlito is going to start popping down a little bit further on the board any moment now.
Yeah, we're going to see this 1 lap between, and of course, a couple of laps there, 4 to 5. Those top 4 in that duo class. What's the spread there? 4 or 5 laps?
Yeah, about 5 laps between them. Now, obviously, Carlito and Grant the Sandman, they didn't have collisions at all, so they've been just racing the whole time and still very fast. But Gerbo and Killred coming back after explosions, and then just they're about to start taking their times back. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and are we going to see that? We're at 62, about 62 laps.
Yeah.
We're currently sitting at 22 minutes left, so we've got we're very much on pace. Hopefully, we can see a 100 plus from either Gerbo or Carlito. So we'll keep an eye on that.
I also remember from that collision earlier with Team Splen, they stopped at 43 laps. Team Punch Buggy have clutched all the way up to 41 laps now. It should be any moment before we see Team Splen back on the field, but that was obviously a huge advantage for Team Punch Buggy. Maybe they can get this one back as well.
Yeah, we need to keep an eye out for that. Team Splen, if they are making up laps. Frontier Consolidated currently leading the multi-crew with Pax Mortis 2 laps behind. Northfield now up to 19 laps, so really making up for that. Obviously, the issues they ran into before, resolve those, able to get back out and represent. Pretty heavy margin to get up to, but do want to applaud those folks that stick with it. Even though it may be out of reach, you can still go out there and cause some chaos, right? You sit, take out some of those other racers. Maybe you develop some friendships.
Exactly. So Gerbo the Gnome has taken the lead once again, ladies and gentlemen. 64 laps for Gerbo, ahead of Carlito. Kill Redbeard not too far behind. I think we may have possibly missed maybe a collision or something from Carlito, as they've been sitting on 61 laps for a little bit of time now. But the opportunity for Gerbo and Kill Red to get back into that awesome fight that we saw in the first half of the entire race. Frontier Consolidated now only 2 laps ahead of Pax Mortis. This Hammerhead fight has also been insane. Pax Mortis with that unfortunate collision into the cable a little while ago, but already making those laps back. I think they were a full like 8 laps or 9 laps behind before they got back onto the field. So they're making it up quick.
And of course, that Pax Mortis ship piloted by Shep and our Frontier Consolidated piloted by Ryokira. If I'm in those ships, I'm calling out targets, and we are making sure we get some guns on. when we get out
Yes.
in range. So
Yeah. This has been an absolutely fantastic event so far. We have past 20 minutes left. A quick reminder of how this is going to work once we do get to the very end, guys. We're going to have a flag to let everyone know that your next lap is essentially your last lap. Then we're going to have the checkered flag. So we will essentially know who finishes, but everyone will get their opportunity to do one last lap. Bobbit Oboso with another ship destroyed, unfortunately. These Ravens, Red, they're... Oh, I just also heard an explosion. Where was that? I definitely also just heard one.
oh my goodness, yeah. No, it's I will say the Raven. It's got some maneuverability challenges, and also it does seem like the EMPs are self-harm machines out there. So obviously,
a little bit of a fog of war almost.
Obviously, the Saber Raven Club is going to get our issue council reports piled on there. Make sure that we get those done. And Gerbo the Gnome coming up on lap number 69.
Oh, yeah, it's the number.
I do want to give a quick call out. The Anzia Racing merch store. You can
Yes.
get yourself the Crux Cup 2953 shirts. I think we're going to have the 2954s coming up. You can get the Scarlet Apex. I'll be wearing that one for next week. It's in the mail. And pop in. I think there's a current discount on the store, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, get out there, buy any 3 and get 15% off with those t-shirts. So,
and EchoBit, if anyone wants to join in any events for that Anzia Racing run, perhaps a new returning event from a cool streamer, how would they go about joining those events?
Yeah, so just head on over to cruxcap.com. All of our links to our Discord, how we run our events is written there. All of our regulations you can learn about. All of our tracks are on there, so you can learn all of our tracks to the events. Anytime we run an event, we have practice sessions, qualifying, and then a championship leading up to it. So we give you plenty of time to play together, to meet the community, to race with others. And yeah, Mountains of Mayhem. We may have a ground race coming next year.
mm-hmm.
Yes, very excited for that one to return. It was a very fun event for myself to run, and I'm glad that EchoBit said, "Look, if you're not going to run it, just let me." So, thank you, EchoBit. But yeah, it should be fun. Did you ever participate in a Mountains of Mayhem?
I didn't have the Mountains of Mayhem. I saw the practices going. I had scheduling concerns, but it is absolutely one. Within my own org, the Red Legion, we've actually just designated a head of esports that's going to help get our crew represented in these. We see groups like Northfield, like Pax Fortis, like Punch Buggy, and Frontier Consolidated. And while we are an industrial-focused organization, Emperor Pravis and Chat, of course, sign out. We've got we want to make sure we're represented. So
yeah, no, that's awesome to see. 100%, very, very cool. All right, here we go. So we have some more skipping track from Venku Scarada. So just a warning, but they're gonna have to go back around and make sure if they complete that. I want to point out once again, Gerbo in the lead now, 6 laps ahead of their teammates in the F8C. The F8C currently coming second. I think Kill Redbeard may have also had some sort of collision a little bit earlier because they've been sitting at 62 laps for a while. So, Gerbo, now is not the time to make mistakes unless you want to get cameraman.
Oh, and lose our cameraman one more time.
I wasn't even talking about the cameraman this time. Bloody hell.
Hey, flying in third person. This is a close quarters asteroid field with a lot of. We're talking now 45 minutes of debris. The various pylons, the close quarters asteroids. There's a lot of things to crash into, and when you're focused in on that third person camera, it's you're flying, your camera controlled, you're managing all of that together, and occasionally those asteroids just don't come into the equation. So.
Yep. No, super, super rough. What I was saying, Gerbo, you can take it a little bit slower. You can hang out a little bit because at this point you're fairly safely in the lead. Shep has had another collision. Now, it just says collision, so maybe no explosion from Pax Mortis this time. They are 2 laps behind Frontier Consolidated, so I'm really hoping that they haven't destroyed their ship or at least put it in a state that's really rough to run. because they were making short work of that distance, and they've only got 14 minutes left. 2 laps, 14 minutes in the Hammerhead, making up the difference can be real tight.
Yeah, I did see a comment in chat. It looks like both PAX and Frontier might be down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be an interesting one. Gerbo with an 8-lap lead over Grant the Sandman. Gil Redbeard 7 laps behind Carlito. We're seeing a little bit of separation there between those groups. So
yeah, be interesting. So there's definitely at least one Hammerhead still left, and that's Northfield Motorsports. So now's their opportunity to get some laps back. I don't think they can do 20 laps in 14 minutes, but maybe if they just, chuck a couple of Fury LXs on the back, it might work. So there we go. We have confirmation.
Ship destroyed.
Yeah, confirmation of Carlito with ship destroyed. So once again, that was likely a lot earlier. We got Carlito stuck on 62 laps for a while. So very rough there. We have desynced debris at cable 2. So this is where we've been seeing. We just saw, the Carlito had the destruction. So make sure, racers, if you're over near cable 2, you're being a little bit safer.
Yeah, and man, some of these other views coming in, the race profiles, these vehicles as they're running this corner, just amazing looks.
Yep.
And you see the turrets coming in, trying to put some hits on that Hammerhead.
Yeah. Yeah, really much so. I do wonder, let's say you're in the FHC for this this event, and your teammate currently leading the duos. They're pretty safe for the most part. With the amount of laps that you have over the other duos, what do you think about literally reversing and just constantly trying to stick on them? Not even necessarily worrying about laps at this stage. Just pressure. Because I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the way to go, honestly.
Yeah, I do feel like that's the way to go, especially with the duo class, because you've got your racers, and hopefully you've got a good call out system with your co-racer, right? If one of you's got that lead secured, you're calling out who's next up in line. You're maybe taking a little bit slower as the backup racer in that position, but it is important to know you can crash, you can collide here and lose that positioning. So it's that combination. Does one person focus on just delivering some shots, maybe not pulling it back by 20%, or do you both go for it and kind of expect the chaos to happen and hope that Murphy's on your side?
Yeah. Now we just get confirmation that PAX this time are going to be coming out in the best in show paint, which is honestly one of my favorites. I assume, because I think it only has the one best in show paint from 2019, right? The pink and
white.
Pink and white. Yeah. So I love those skins. They're really weird, and that's why I love them.
Yeah, I myself have the best in show Aegis Reclaimer,
nice.
Which is great. Now, those at that point, the best in show was actually a separate ship. You got a CCU token to upgrade to. Oh, and beautiful view as we see one of those EMPs go off.
Yeah.
So it's a separate hull from that time period. Now they've gotten better in the recent years where it's a paint you can apply. But some of those best in show ships, because of the unique nature, maybe not getting as much attention when there's something wrong with the ship. So we'll see if that has anything to play out.
Now, as we begin approaching the 10-minute mark, the last 10 minutes of the race, want to do a quick shout out to the event security. Ragtag Mercs, thank you very much for everything you do for Anzia Racing. Ragtag Mercs is a mercenary organization fit for hire. Should you need talent, hire a squad. You need numbers, hire them all. I love that tagline. That's actually such a good tagline.
Yeah, they do great work. Habanero Sauce, also a good friend of the channel out there. So thank you very much, Ragtag Mercs, and those folks for helping deliver, keeping things secured out there.
Yeah. Well, Echo, 10 minutes left. What do you think of what we're looking at right now? We've got Gerbo the Gnome 9 laps ahead in the... 9 laps ahead of their teammate, I guess. So really, what is that? 17 laps ahead in the duo class. We've got Team Splend 2 laps ahead in the turret class. And then we've got Frontier Consolidated and Pax Mortis. Really, at this stage, it's who can get here first, it feels like. So how are you feeling? What are you thinking?
I'm with you there. Gerbo definitely looks like he's going to close it out just fine. But I wouldn't count Seven Hills out. They might just pull out their best in the last 10 minutes. So good luck to everyone there. Splen, you're doing amazing. But Herbie is still right on your tail. Herbie doesn't have to refuel. They're in a Vanguard Sentinel. You've had to refuel at least once. I can tell by the map gap that is closed on you there. So there's a bit of pressure on Splen actually right now. So good luck to both of you two to close this out, and also good luck to Frontier Consolidated and Pax Mortis to close out the multi-crew class and Northfield. Keep at it. Placing laps. Really appreciate you guys. You guys are doing great up there with the showings in Northfield.
I will say, at the very least, while you were talking, Pax Mortis were able to get back in and complete one more lap. I do not know if Frontier Consolidated have made it back from their collision or not, but that's a pretty big deal. These guys are right on top of each other with 9 minutes to go. This is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Frontier Consolidated, Pax Mortis, and then Northfield behind there. We did see Bobbit Obaso from the Saber Raven Club crashed into the Cable 2 debris. Let's talk a little bit about the backup vehicles, because a lot of these ships have been destroyed. You got a backup that's ready to go. The Saber Raven, obviously being a limited ship, much less likely to have that backup, and it's a several minute reclaim timer in order to get that. So we need to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, definitely.
The Hammerhead with another reclaim time. I think it's like 45 minutes, but a 15-minute expedited. So, obviously 1 or 2 backup vehicles makes sense. We are seeing them come back with the best in show variant. So, a little bit more drip as we can get down there. The best in show is down a Pax at the breeze. So yeah, wow. Safety ship to track to investigate a significant amount of debris. The racers have been warned. No yellow flag yet, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so sounds like Pax are out of it again. So Frontier Consolidated currently winning. It sounds like they are also back. So we'll see if they can extend that lead just that little bit. They might have enough. Pax may have enough time to get back in for one more lap. So you really want to make sure you're not in that situation. Team Splen a little bit further ahead of Team Punch Buggy than they were previously, and they've gotten themselves an extra lap in there, maybe an extra half lap. So barring any explosions from those guys, they should be able to take this one down. They've been pretty good here. But Gerbo the Gnome and Grant the Sandman, I think time permitting, I don't think it's possible really for our teams to get a full 17 laps in 7 minutes time. So that is a fantastic performance by those guys. So well done. I believe you guys are going to get it. Maybe let's see if you can hit the 110 laps. Hit the 110 laps. Yeah.
And of course, 126 is the lap count to beat that we'll probably see next week in the finale. I do want to shout out real quick the Frontier Consolidated guys, again, coming back for a makeup round after being interfered with multiple times during their initial heat. Able to secure it, make good on the opportunity, and get back in for the finale coming up next week.
Yep. This has been a fantastic couple of heats to commentate with you guys. It's been good fun. But I'm excited for next weekend. We're going to have a lot more competition now that we all have qualifiers done. There's going to be some insane stuff. I mean, exactly like what you said. We saw people pull off 107 laps in heat number 1.
Yeah.
That's some strong competition.
Now, with Gerbo coming in and Grant, the Sandman, I do feel like we're going to see that F8C, right? We're going to see, the Fury LX. The Fury LX was both ships on the previous heats. So, do we see a change in tactics when we go to the finale? Maybe that F8C is just out there popping Furies. That's open season, right?
Yeah. Like I said, that's what I really want to hear. It. Oh no, Kill Red Beard, ship destroyed, collided with Hammerhead. I think Echo and Red, that's going to seal the deal for Gerbo and Grant. They are going to, barring a disqualification, they are going to take it for the duo class. Congratulations to Team OP2 Tree Beers. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Gerbo and Grant. Good job.
Congrats, Gerbo. Take it home.
Yeah. Carlito getting a warning for skipping the track with a repeated checkpoint there. So keep an eye on that. Team Splen, Punch Buggy coming up behind there. Looks like they're in pretty good shape. Three lap variation between Punch Buggy. So Splen's a little bit ahead. Asura about 20 laps behind within that class. Obviously getting those lined up. And yeah, we've talked through our multi-crew, our turret, and our duo class. I gotta say, even though they're not taking top place, it has been great to see the Saber Raven Owners Club represented. This is one that it's I'm biased, but I do feel like it's one of the most beautiful ships in game, and that uniqueness with the dual EMP. This is a perfect event to showcase it. Obviously, we hope that the EMP is working properly. We'll definitely be getting some issue council reports in there for EMPs in general. And I was actually surprised to see the number of times we saw those EMPs discharge on the track today. I think that was the most we'd seen through any heat so far, and hopefully that continues into the finale.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some pop up. Because the EMPs have just been so much fun to watch. Because it's also not just the Saber Ravens, but we also had from Punch Buggy, we had the Sentinel, right? So it was really cool
Sentinel and the Scorpio Antares. So
yes, and the Antares. Yeah, so very, very cool to watch them go off. So 3.5 minutes left, guys. We're gonna get these races to get in their last couple of laps, but at this stage, I think it's relatively safe to say Gerbo the Gnome and Grant are gonna take it down for the duo lead. Team Splen going to take it down for the turret. And of course, Frontier Consolidated, with those laps ahead of Pax Mortis, are going to take it down for the Hurricane, for the Hammerhead, with their second opportunity, which is fantastic to see. So congratulations, guys. Let's see how many laps you guys can finish. Gerbo is about to pass through lap 100. So let's see what you can pull off.
Yeah, it's not over yet, but it's mostly over.
Yep.
Just the crying left, right?
Yes,
We've got. I think everybody's pretty well set, and even with collisions at this point, secured in their positioning. So really solidified going in for. Now, do we want to talk a little bit about what the race is going to look like next week? We have Black Star Legion and Sanguis Luna, which are going to have Frontier Consolidated join them in the Hammerhead class. I feel like that's going to be a great competition. Black Star Legion, of course, having a fantastic showing there. They had their they're also in the duo class with the Black Star Racing. Behind that. For the turret, we have Frontier Consolidated that is coming in there, Turbo Corporation, and we're going to have Team Splen joining them. And then for the duo, we've got Black Star Racing. Those were the Fury LXs. Sanguis Luna as well, a Fury LXs. And we are going to see Gerbo with the Ope 2 Tree Beers getting out there. So.
Yeah, that one's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. I think an important thing there, though, is, we are essentially going to have two teams in a one org in two of the different divisions. So that adds a lot. We kind of get to see if when you're in a specific division, like if you're in the Hammerhead division, you don't spend a lot of time shooting, the random heavy fighters that are around you. That changes a lot, obviously, when you've got teammates in those divisions. So I think we're going to see a lot more inter-division combat next week, which is really going to spice things up. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, and now we've got Black Star Legion and Black Star Racing. I'm assuming they're the same group or at least closely related. Definitely with the Frontier Consolidated, though. Frontier with the Hammerhead and the turret. A couple of those high damage output vehicles. Black Star Racing with the Fury LXs is not going to be able to support those Hammerheads or those turrets very effectively, but they can definitely get the racing laps in. So.
No. 45 seconds left in the race, guys. Remember, we're going to have...
Jinx.
Oh, no. No, I have to buy you a Coke or something? I don't know the rules. We're approaching the end, guys. Now, remember, we're going to have a white flag go past to let everyone know, hey, you get your last chance at a lap. Then we're going to have the checkered flag to finish it up. But look at those awesome times. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating as you start to cross the finish line. Some great performances. Really, the big thing for me today, Gerbo versus Kill Redbeard in the first half of the entire race, right on top of each other, up to like the 33-minute mark before they both exploded within the same lap, which was insane. It was crazy.
Amazing. And the white flag has been called. Once again, thank you to our security team, the Ragtag Mercs. Thank you to the Anzia Racing group. We've got our race timers, race officials, those watching each of the checkpoints, ensuring that even though we've got the chaos here with the distortion weapons, that everything's executed fairly and maintaining the integrity of this contest.
Yeah. So there we go. 106 laps for Gerbo. Congratulations. Absolute crush. Or 107 laps possibly. So there we go. We're going to get these results in for you guys, but let's give a big round of applause, everyone in chat, to all these amazing competitors for heat number 3. Finished. This means championship next week, guys. Championship race. It's popping off.
Oh man, Croncy with the ASMR, making me jealous. We get the rest of our folks in there completing their laps. So yep, Gerbo is complete. That hype is just on top of it. Now we can see the Saber Raven group completing theirs as well. We're just waiting for Grant the Sandman, Carlito, and Asura. I think Carlito just had a collision right near the end, so that may be left out there. Grant the Sandman, F8C Lightning coming in second officially with Gerbo the Gnome. I'm excited to see that happen next week. I want to see that F8C and just please take out one of the LXs.
I think the biggest thing, right, is that the F8C didn't have to refuel. It didn't have a collision. And so it was just able to go pretty fast the entire race and just be consistent. So, like, really, really good race, Grant the Sandman. It was awesome to see you. Now,
and we did.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I said we did see Northfield Motorsports complete their final lap. Vanku Scarlet and their group.
Yep.
Very much respect for getting back out and completing the lap, despite the technical difficulties getting back into a Hammerhead through the race start after that first lap collision, which was just absolutely crushing.
Yep. Now, Echo Bit, we'll hand it over to you to let us know how all these competitors went and who we're going to see next weekend. So, how'd the race go?
Let's have a look at the race results. So for our multi-crew Hammerhead class, progressing to the championship is Frontier Consolidated, powered by Ryukura. Congratulations. And thank you to Pax Mortis, Northfield Motorsports, for participating in today's race. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know it was both of your first time out here. I hope you would come to see us again next year when we move this race into Pyro. Congratulations, and you should be really proud with all of the lap times you put down today. And moving on to Turret class, progressing to the championship, Team Splin, followed by Splin himself. And also, thank you to Punch Buggy and Azura for participating in the Scarlet Apex today. Heavy was only like a couple laps behind Splin at the end there, so Heavy, I really respect your strategy with the Vanguard Sentinel. You did so well, and same with Kestrel. It was your first time coming out to the Scarlet Apex today. Really happy to see Legacy Fleet come out here and try one of our races, so I hope to see you again. Moving on to the duo class, progressing to the championship, to Tree Bears. Leading that, Gerbo the Gnome. Congratulations. And Grant the Sandman, it was incredible to see you and Herbie with the Combi Fury LX and F8 Lightning work together and achieve such an incredible feat. 100 laps each? That's insane. Well done. And thank you to Seven Hills Racing and the Saber Raven Owner Club for participating today. It was so good to see Tenor and Bobbit. I love you guys. You come to all of my races and bring Saber Ravens. You guys are the best. And Kill Redbeard and Kalido, you're incredible racers. There was such an epic fight today. So you should be very proud of keeping up with Gerbo, who is a renowned zero-G pilot. So yeah, well done to all teams. Congratulations everyone, and thank you for coming.
There we go. Absolutely fantastic race, guys. Heat number 3 is done. We have our players for next week for the championship for Scarlet Apex 2953. I'm really excited, Echo and Red. It's going to be good fun. We've got some amazing races in there. Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to it. We're going to have some great competition. The Frontier Consolidated fielding 2 teams out there. We'll see what type of coordination happens between those teams. And of course, just embracing the chaos as we get in. We're going to have Fury LXs, 5 of them in the duo class, with the F8C bringing up that last position. And, I can sense some chaos already. That's my hope. All right. That we get to see a few more of those ship disablements, especially as that FAC punches above its weight class, and it's a beefy ship.
Yeah. Well, before we head off, guys, once again, a massive thank you to all of the staff that run these events. Thank you to all the racers that come out and race in these awesome Anzio racing events. Thank you to you all over in the chat that have been talking and whatnot and supporting Star Citizen Esports, which has been popping off recently. It's been really cool. Another thank you once again to our security, the Ragtag Mercs. Ragtag Mercs is a mercenary organization fit for hire. Should you need talent, hire a squad. You need numbers, hire them all. I hope that if maybe I can get them to hire me for their promo vids. I don't know.
Dude, they ought to just clip that.
Thank you once again to Red Monster. It was awesome to meet you at CitizenCon. Thank you once again to Echo Bit
as our
Yep. Oh shush.
It's not possible without you guys. We love you, bye.
Yeah, thank you. It's not possible without me. It's true. Thank you very much, guys. We will be back in a week's time. Also, thank you, Predator Mounts. We will be back in a week's time for the championships. See you then for Scarlet Apex 2953.
See you next week, guys.
See you next week, everyone.